Radical. Okay, here's part 2 of 2 of my thoughts on Digital Foundry's Digital Direct Weekly 17, the part where they're talking about the Intellivision Amico and their concerns on it. There's a lot here. I probably forget something. I didn't really have time to write down any notes, but the things that popped out in the second part of this is he talks about how he has a lot of concerns and how out they are from really release, and how it seems that 4 months out to release, there's not a whole lot of information. There's not a lot of people that had hands-on with the system. All these things that typically happen before a console releases don't seem to be happening. And they're not entirely sure if it's going to be an October release. And they say around August, their guess is probably there'll be another, delay. Have an Amico delay, so probably there will be another delay. And if it does release, I don't see how it's going to release in a great form, or the versions that are actually sent on release do not have lag. They said they can clearly tell lag. They watch the videos like all of us. They see the lag, and the lag is explained away as firmware. I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that. Now, one thing that is a little concerning is they mentioned, and they're really not anti-Amico. They're not, but they mentioned how they had a lot of the people in the Amico cult actually, call him names. And they verified, we are not, anti. Even the one guy with glasses says he would like to kind of see things like that succeed. But it just shows how much shadiness is around this product in particular. And the way that they're trying to... It seems like the way Tommy and the Amico people are trying to handle this is to paint their own narrative. And they sent them press materials. They sent them press materials, and they're also trying to say that they're not trying to market it, even though they had that E3 presentation, and they're trying desperately to get people to, find out about this. Well, not find out about it. Actually, ironically, they don't want people to actually look into it, dig into it, and find out things about the Amico. So imagine this. They're trying to sell a product. They're trying to get things out there, but they're trying to, write their own narrative. And when it comes to the comparisons, apparently in some of these press materials, they don't want people to draw the comparisons between that system, other systems like the Evercade and the Switch. So I could see how they don't want comparisons drawn, because you have a box like the Amico, and you're trying to compare this silly looking box with these mobile-ish looking flash games to a freaking Nintendo Switch. I can see how they don't want that comparison. And comparing that to, the Evercade, I mean, how many of you would actually take this Amico over an Evercade? Probably not that many. And one thing they brought up that I know drives Tommy crazy is the stock photos, and how it's weird that we're 4 months out, but if you look up photos of the Amico and families and everything, it's all these stock photos. Weirdly enough, I believe, aren't some of these stock photos used for other gaming, companies and their products? Which, I mean, if it's years out, I get it. It's just like prototype. But if it's almost here, if the console is almost here, shouldn't there be some, updated photos? There's just not a lot of confidence in the Amico in general that a lot of people have. And there's so many things that are just kind of shrouded in secrecy. And they brought up the games, how there's a lot less games that are actually going to supposedly be coming out for this release. I think it started with 60, now we're down to maybe 20 something, I'm not sure. It's hard to just kind of pin the Amico people down and get clear answers on these things. Imagine that, right? Just pinning people down because they want to sell the product. They really want to sell the product. And when people ask about the product, it seems like there's sideways answers. When bigger media starts to get a hold of this, or can't get a hold of this, you can't have it both ways. the Amico people can't have it both ways to where like, oh, we want to get to these big outlets, right? We want to get these big outlets and, have some of these big outlets showing off the Amico so we can get some sales. Well, the big outlets, those outlets beyond OEB Pete and the small YouTubers are actually not going to just nod their head and accept all the BS that Tommy feeds them. They're going to actually want real answers on things. And the problem, I think, is they don't have the kind of answers that would coincide with actually selling the product. They don't have those kind of answers. But what if this thing's actually delayed again? What if there's another Amico delay? At this point, would anybody be shocked or surprised?